How's the Solihull property market, Dom? Is a question that I am asked day in, day out. And as such, each week I utilise the access that we have to the back end of Rightmove that gives me whole of market data that enables me to give you a transparent, open and honest view of every single sales transaction, new instruction and price reduction across the market that we cover. This includes every single active agent within that batch. I'm going to start, as I do, with a little analysis of where we are this month compared to where we were that month in 2022. And I'm not surprised at all, really. Instructions, we knew instructions were always going to, that's new properties coming to market, were always going to be less this year than last year. So last year in April, there were 168 properties that had come to market by this point in time. In April of this year, we're at 137. That's a drop of 18%. Sales agreed 157 for this period last year, 111 for this year. That's a drop of just under 30% at 29. And price reductions, we know, do not come as a surprise anymore as the market continues to catch up with itself, or correct itself, should I say. 39 for the month of April, or for the first 16 days of April last year, and 71 for that period this year. Now, what's interesting is that I always like to look at the new properties to market, their conversion against sales agreed. That gives us a little understanding of how well the market is performing. And in April of last year, 93% of properties that came to market had a sale agreed against them. For April of this year, that currently sits at 81%, and year to date at only 68%. So 68% of stock that's coming to market is getting a sale agreed on it. Now that is low, and that is testament to the pain and strains that we're still feeling in the marketplace, where some prices are quite difficult to understand, and the market is just moving that little bit more, dare I say it, sensibly, and in a very pre-pandemic way. There is not a heightened rush to be out there offering on every single property that you go and see, which of course led to plenty of fall throughs last year. Again, fall throughs this year, we had a record month last month on fall throughs, on the least fall throughs, and this month to date we're sat, I think, at only 3 fall throughs, which is phenomenal. Last year, you know, it was 20 plus fall throughs every single month. So the market is a lot more resilient, it's a lot more stable, and it is a lot more sensible. It's imperative that you have a strong relationship with whichever agents you opting to use, or indeed trying to sell your property through. So if we just have a little look at DM & Co this month so far, we have registered 136 new buyers to market. We've had 14 new instructions and 14 sales agreed, which coincidentally is 100% sales to instruction ratio. And remember, that local market is only achieving 81% currently. In lettings, we've had 60 new tenants that are looking for properties to find. We've had 5 move-ins, and there is an absolutely huge demand for family homes between £1,250 a month and £2,500 a month. Solihull continues to outperform the national averages across the board. Do not be spooked by the doom and gloom that you read or hear in the press. I'm going to move on to questions now. I've had 3 questions come in, quite interestingly. The first one, this comes from Sam. Sam has asked which agent reduces the most property, because he's really finding it difficult to understand the market. And this is a really interesting one, because it comes as no surprise to me that it's often the agents out there telling everybody that they're the biggest and the best, and it would be remiss of me to name them. However, the alarming statistic for me is by how much these properties are being reduced. One of the best agents reduces at an average of 9% of the asking price. So some houses will have been reduced by so much more than that 9%. It's absolutely no wonder why the public has such a dim view on our industry. This damages the property, it is not good for the client, and it makes it nigh on impossible for buyers and sellers to understand the market. Of course, reductions do take place, and they've had to over the last 6 months, but we are seeing stability now. So agents, please, please, please provide realistic pricing strategies. If a property is marketed correctly, you will never undersell your property. At DM&Co, we are in favour of getting properties on at the right price, at an attractive price. When properties come to market at an attractive level, they generate sufficient interest and activity to enable a sale to be agreed. I've got to reference the fact that there was, and the only way I can describe it is by, this is terrible. So there was a property whereby, and I will reference the family. A family were told that their house was worth £1 million. That house was never in a million years worth £1 million. However, the expectation of that family is that they now have £1 million to spend. I'm so disappointed that we have had to come in as an agent and are now dealing with offers in and around the £750,000 mark. That is not the market crashing 25%. It is an absolutely horrific example of an agent, an agent telling somebody that their house is worth X when Y is miles apart. All that does is distort the market and create an immensely unhappy client, but B, complete confusion, because there were people at that time that were saying to us, well, hang on a second, this house over there is at £1 million. How come ours is, this is just terrible for the market. Please, 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 if you are out there sell it and want to sell your property, take the time, sit with the agents that are achieving the results, sit with the agents that are agreeing sales in and around where your property is located. They do understand the market, and ask for them to just be honest with you. It sounds terrible that we should have to beg people to be honest, but please ask for a transparent, open, honest understanding of where your property sits in the market today. Time is cracking on, so for anybody still watching, thank you. Joe asks, shall I sell or shall I extend? Well, this is, for me, this is very much a, cost of moving and upheaval of moving versus, of course, cost of development to the property. Is that, are you going to be able to stay in the property? Are you going to have to move into rented for a period of time? I think, Joe, the easiest thing in this instance would be to come out, have a little look at the property and give you an opinion of value on a before and after basis. Of course, that doesn't necessarily matter if the end value isn't what you expect it to be, if your plans for the property create that home that you're happy in for many years to come. There's another Sam, 2 Sams in 1 week. There's Samantha, Samantha asks whether she should find a house before selling her home. For me, I always urge people to put themselves in the best position possible. For me, that sits at cash in the bank and ready to go, or at the very least, sold subject to contract. If you're in a sold subject to contract position, you are able to be out there offering, viewing and offering on properties. Of course, there are instances where you do tend to come to market chasing a particular property, and you end up thinking that that's the only property that you want to buy. But once you've had a little offer or an offer on your property, it sets the mind, it engages the mind, and it does make you start to think and broaden your horizon. So I would always encourage people to come to market, at the very least be prepared to come to market. So agents, details ready, everything ready to go, ready for us to start hammering the phones to book viewings. So that if you do find something one Saturday afternoon, you can drop us a line on the Monday morning and we can get your property to market with immediate effect. I'm going to wrap that up here. We're just approaching 9.5 minutes. So I hope you found that engaging and interesting. Please do stay tuned, of course, for sneak peeks that launch on a Monday. And that's it for me. Take care, guys. Thank you ever so much. And don't forget to get in touch if you want an open, honest approach to selling or renting your property. Thanks a lot.